Leon is coming at you with another video.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my guest, Rod Cali. How's it going, bro?
What's up? What's up with it, boss? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. For everybody else, man, tell everybody where they can find your social media platform and what do you do on your daily, man?
Man, first and foremost, I'm Rod Cali. On Instagram, I'm Rod Cali 24/7 on what is it? X now, whatever it's called. I'm a photographer, I'm a graphic designer. You name it, I can do it.
Yeah. I'd like to give you a thank you for that little animated for the Josh Harper one because I couldn't find ways to make a cartoon out of it, which it became one of my best covers now because I had to add that Josh Harper into it. But
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem, man. No problem.
Oh, speaking of what's been going on, man, I know this is a topic I've seen you on TED Talk Sports we're talking about, but I think this is something we probably have to go into at the moment because everybody's still burying Trey Lance, and I think it's unfair. But your thoughts on the situation?
It's definitely unfair. Let's keep it real. Trey went to a team that was already in the winning, the window was wide open for this team right now. So how it looks is that Trey was to come in because Jimmy was getting hurt too many times. They didn't want to work with the guy because they knew that he was a project. While doing that, he ended up getting hurt. It sucks. It's messed up. Then they found a gem in Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy comes along, play good. Don't get me wrong. Do I think he's a franchise quarterback or elite quarterback? Absolutely not. But time will tell. He may continue to keep proving me wrong. And right now, I'm glad that he's been proving me wrong because I still believe in Trey. I still believe that whether he gets the opportunity here or for another team, we'll see. I'm not wishing any hurt on anybody or anything like that. I'm glad we're continuing to win. I just feel like when it comes to a franchise type quarterback and everything and has all the tools to get it done for years to come, and make, regardless of who is out there, he can make stuff happen. I think Trey Lance can do it. But, only time will tell.
I think it's just pretty unfair with the situation. Like an injury was unfortunate. Usually what happens in sports, an injury happens, you lose your job. It's always happened. But take nothing away from Brock Purdy. Under the circumstances, he proved to be really good for that season. But can he do it again? That's my only question mark. And I know there's a lot of these. I guess in the quote of, I'm going to use the quote of Keen Skeezy's word, the Purdy files, man. The Purdy files are not liking what I'm saying right now, but I just want to see if he can prove it again. That's all.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and I guess we're called the Trey Sexuals. I'll call them the Purdy Files for the moment, just to be fair. But okay, so speaking of this game, what stood out about the Niners and Broncos game when you saw it from a standpoint? Like, what were the players who stood out to you?
Trey for sure. I think his poise and how we all know it was a bonehead interception that he threw. Okay, we get that. Let's not act like there's not been a quarterback around us that hasn't messed up before, i.e. Jimmy G. We've had those type of mess ups and types of situations. I'm glad it happened in the preseason, but he came back resilient. He acted like, you know what, it is what it is. Let me turn it around. He went 8 for 10 if I'm not mistaken. Game winning drive. got us in the field goal contention. You know what I'm saying? Moody brought us home. I'm glad Moody made that kick for us because it changed and it helped his confidence considering what he was doing and what he was going through. So I'm glad for him. But what's his name? Graham, our linebacker.
Jalen Graham,
He's
yeah, I like that
he's
kid.
he's he's nasty out there. You know what I'm saying? I think he's got that it factor that we have come accustomed to seeing as far as linebacking, is concerned, especially with us. And I like what he's been doing. He looks hungry. He looks like even with more knowledge and more teaching and more being schemed up and doing certain things, I feel like he wouldn't be that much more of a drastic change if something was to happen to some of the players, ahead of him. I'm not going to say Warner because Warner's just one of a kind. We all know
I
that.
mean, Warren Burks is
He's an
probably
all
listed.
pro. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He could
Yeah,
challenge
I get
that
what
one,
you're
I feel. You know what I'm saying? So,
There's quite a few guys
but
out
but
there.
but Graham is good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. His
yeah,
side to sideline speed. Come on, man. He's getting there. And you could tell he wants it. So, him and McCrary Ball out there, that's a scary,
yeah. And
you
then
got
D
something going
Winters.
back there. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not missing too much off. If the guys in front of them, you know, they pan out, do whatever is needed, but we still got something, that's happening behind the scenes and everything, like we always normally do. Give them that red shirt season, see what they can do after that, and then go from there. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way, man. I see a lot of Jalen Graham's plays and it just stands out. I think he should be a starter, but who am I to judge? I just think he has more of a better instinct. Oren Burks is more of a special teamer, if I'm being realistic.
Right, right. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. It's like it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he can be that much more better. You know what I'm saying? So I think once these guys really get accustomed to playing in the NFL, the speed, what it takes, not hitting that or that rookie wall, they should be straight. Drake Jackson hit that wall last year. We'll see what he can do this year
Yeah,
coming into it. So as long as we have something going on and going on the opposite side of Bosa, which I think he'll be back in due time, hopefully within the next couple of days. front, let's go front office.
yeah,
Get
let's
do
do
your
it.
job, Parak. Do your job, Parak. I mean, we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you said, the D line seems decent if we can get something out of Drake Jackson. But Cleveland Farrell looks like he could be the guy for now. But I think with Drake Jackson on the field, we want to see more of this kid. So Jalen Graham is just the tape. I just watch a lot of his tape and I see a lot of it better. D Winters, I like to see a little bit more, but definitely has
Yeah,
that speed, man. That speed to make a play from the sidelines. Just
yeah,
unbelievable. And then
yeah.
let's see. I was getting hard. I was being too hard on Cameron too, but I think he finally made his catches. But I still want to see a little bit more of Braden Willis so I can get a good idea. Because if you're just going to play Dwelly and Warner, then I'm not getting enough snaps from Braden because I'm hearing a lot of buzz about him from practice. So
Right.
the
Same with
coaching
me.
needs to give him some snaps so we can see what we're getting at the kid. Because it's a wasted opportunity just to let these unproven veterans take the snaps. If they are that good, then they shouldn't be concerned about a roster spot. They should see if this other kid can actually do better.
How many years have we had Dwelly?
Since I think 2018 or something, it's been too
It's
long.
about 6 years. You get exactly. So now it's like, okay, what we haven't improved yet on the opposite side of Kittle or the same. You know what I mean?
All Duvall
Like
does is make
we got to do
short
better.
catches. He doesn't do nothing special. I feel like I'm
That's
getting
it.
tired of this old blend tight end, bro. This guy's got to go. Um, Charlie Warner, nothing special, just a blocking specialist. Like, dude, you got to
That's
go.
it.
Give me Cameron
That's
Latu.
it.
I mean, give me Willis and Latu at this point, and then Troy Fumagalli. I might want to sneak in as the fourth tight end. Just get rid of these old
I
guys.
wouldn't be
Even
mad at it.
and dude, we can sneak one of those guys on the practice squad. It's not like they're gonna. You think any of the team's gonna claim Warner or Dwelly on the practice squad?
There's no market for Dwelly. Nobody wants Dwelly. Let's be
Nobody,
real.
nobody
If
wants
somebody
Dwelly.
you have to get hurt. Another team has to get hurt, like seriously, to get Dwelly. I just don't see that happening. So I'm not concerned or worried about him. He can go. That's cool. We'll claim him off waivers, like you said. He can go to practice squad and be there for somebody gets hurt or someone gets injured, he can come back. I'm
So
cool
so
with
what?
that.
Yeah, so what do you think is a market for? Let's say hypothetically the Niners do this move. Let's say hypothetically we cut Willis. Do you think he has a market if a team were to claim him?
Yeah, because he has more upside. He's a rookie. You know what
That's
I'm
what I would
saying?
say. That's what I would say.
You get to coach these guys up because they're coming from college into the league. So now you get to get them fresh, start them off. Once you get a Dwelly or somebody or a Warner, they already have that seasoned type of coaching. They've heard stuff. They know what the league is like. So then there's a different type of coaching that you would have to do with them. When you get them raw and straight out of college, it's like, okay, we can mold these guys into the scheme that we're trying to run here.
Yep.
So you can do certain things with those newer, I feel, younger guys like that, and see if it works. Hopefully, it should work for whichever team that you have, and then go from there. I think
Yeah.
anybody can learn how to run the stretch, the zone run that we run as a tight end. It's just okay. Get ugly in there. Learn how to block. Catch the ball.
Oh
Latu, you've gotten plenty of opportunities to catch the ball, but come on, man. Stop
yeah.
getting in your own head. Just catch the ball, bro. Make
Yeah.
the game simple. Simplify
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and the fact that I want to say this, dude, we've made some mistakes in the past where we actually cut a couple of tight ends before, and the Giants claimed them mostly. So we don't need to make that same mistake. I'm willing to take a chance on cutting Dwelly any day of the week because, like you said, I don't
Yeah.
think there's not a market for him. Like, who wants to sign this guy? Like, what has he brought to the table? He's not a blocker. He'll give you some.
Right.
He'll flash some catches here and there, but he's not somebody that
Right.
teams were willing to take. I mean, Charlie
Yeah.
Warner, just a blocking specialist. Like,
I
what
agree
does he
with you.
bring to the table? Like, dude, I'm hoping the Niners have common sense and just let these other two tight ends go. Please,
Yeah.
bro. All you're
Yeah.
doing is really kind of weakening the group because you're bringing the same faces that are not. This is why we drafted Latu and Willis for a reason, just to improve
Right.
the area. I'm cool with adding Troy Fumagalli. Let him be the fourth tight end. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get somebody
Yeah.
fresh. I'm tired of these wash up has-beens like Dwelly, bro. We never use the guy. There's never been a role for the guy. We've tried him everywhere. Charlie Warner, we try to make him a catcher, but he can't catch to save his life. So there's just no potential there at this point. It's like, okay, you can be a blocking specialist, but that's it.
Right, because there's no splash plays that they give us. They don't give us any pizzazz. It's like if Kittle doesn't get the ball, we're in trouble. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's not something that you need to continue on looking at. Remember, arguably every year, now that we've had Kittle, he's always gotten injured in some way, shape, form, or fashion. A
And
couple
we
of
need a
weeks
suitable
here,
backup.
a couple
Yeah.
of weeks here. You know what I'm saying? So who are we able to rely on if Kittles is not around for a couple of weeks? And right there, I'm not too truly confident on any of the tight ends right now as we speak. I'm not. Come on now, Dwelly. We're already talking about getting rid of him. So
Yeah,
obviously we're not convinced with that, him or Warner. So okay, what are we doing then? Let's
yeah.
make a move.
If you cut those two, then I feel confident with Willis or at least with Latu having some opportunities. And then even if we bring in Fumagalli just to be the last tight end on the depth chart, I feel some confidence there. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna just
Yeah.
keep the same old faces behind Kittle, hey, it's gonna be the same shit. We're not getting any
It's gonna
better.
be the same shit.
But offensive line, okay, so when we look at the offensive line depth, okay, so outside of our starters, I don't know, man. It just seems question mark. John Feliciano had his moments, but I think as a suitable backup, he's not that bad. So Jalen Moore and Matt Pryor are pretty much competing for that last spot. Like, how do you feel about this offensive line? Do you think we can do better by signing some guy off the street or try to find a way to keep some of those guys on our practice squad?
$1 million question, man. That's the scariest part. Now we're in year 3 of Jalen Moore, and we still don't know what he can be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we almost fall off a cliff once the starters go out. That's a little scary. And trying to look at and think that who would come in behind somebody who would be like a Brunskill of, years before. I don't know if there's somebody on our roster that could be a Brunskill type that can go from center to right guard to, maybe even right tackle or left. I don't know. I don't know this time. This is the season where a lot of questions will be answered when it comes down to, who is behind the starters on both ends, even on the defensive line. You got to think too. Once we get past the starters and everything, T.Y. McGill. I mean, granted, yeah, he had a good game, but then after that, then who? I'm not really too confident on the guys, even on the defensive line. So it's 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 gonna be scary this year. Like we just hope that everybody can make it through successfully and we'll be there fresh and we get at least a number one seed. We hope that like normal years with Kyle, starting off slow. I hope this shit doesn't happen to us this year
I
because it
hope so
comes
too.
back to bite us. It comes back to bite us at the end of the year each year. And that's the part that I get nervous about because had we taken advantage or we took care of the opportunities that we could have, we shouldn't have lost that game even against LA. You know what I'm saying? Against the Rams. Granted, Jaquaski Tarr ended up dropping the interception. But had that game been in Levi's, I think it would have been a different outcome for us, obviously.
Yeah.
Then you turn around to last year. Had we had the number one, who's to say what would have happened? You know what I mean? And on top of that, who's to say if Trey never gets hurt, what type of season we have? So a lot of questions could have been, done a different way. Just I hate the starting off slow shit. I hate
Yeah.
it.
The starting off slow shit just really kind of like puts us in a deep hole a little bit. Like, yeah, we may get a little bit of a top seed, but I'd rather get the number one seed because I'm guaranteed home field advantage. And
Absolutely.
let's look at the record. The Niners playing at Levi. They have not had a single loss in this playoff home field because if you look at their playoff record, they play the Vikings, the Packers, let's see, the Cowboys.
Seahawks.
Oh yeah, Seahawks, Cowboys. So that's 4-0. I think we need to get home field advantage because that's guaranteed. I don't want to sound too delusional, but it's guaranteed the ticket to Vegas. If I'm being honest, we'll see. I'm not getting too ahead of myself, so
I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the record at Levi's, man, we haven't had a single loss in the playoff game at the boat.
Right.
Seems like a home field
Right.
advantage.
And it's on our side. Like I would think anybody who has a team, you know what I'm saying, going into the playoffs, you got a advantage of having your own crowd behind you, and you get to sleep in your own bed. That feeling, you can't take that away. Versus going into somebody else's field, i.e., Philly, they getting in your heads. On top of that, it being cold. It's a lot of things that go into a
Different
situation that
environment.
if that environment you really not trying to be in that environment. That's a different beast. So
It's a cruel fan base.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Hate it or love it.
yeah. Whether you like the Eagles or not, their fan bases they make the Raider fans look like Christians.
Absolutely.
Just
And they
how-
don't care.
They don't
They're
care.
fine the way that and you know what? I'm being honest when I say this. And other people don't like it. I respect it because they own up to who they are, regardless win or loss. And it's like, if that's how they're gonna be, what up, Gina? If that's how they're gonna be, what up to everybody in the chat? If that's how they're gonna be, then I respect that because at the end of the day, beat them. That's it. And then you can shut them up. But if you're not beating them, this is what you got to take. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. But hey, we got to take advantage and we got to take care of our own in order for that exactly to write our own destiny out. And if we can't do that, then this is the situations that we go into.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, so this is Gina on this channel right here?
Yeah. That's my homegirl. That's my sister right there.
Okay.
My co-host.
She doesn't go
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, I don't see her on her channel no more. But yeah, hey, Gina, how's it going? Long time no see. We need to catch up. Actually, I met her at a Levi Stadium game, like almost last year.
Okay.
She's cool. She's very cool. She met my wife and everybody. But yeah, very kind of interesting how we all interact with everybody these days. But I want to go down SoFi actually, which I call Levi South. But it's gonna be pretty fun. But we got David Corona from LA. Hopefully, this is my prediction. This is the prediction I might see happening in the NFC Championship game. This might sound crazy, but I think we might play the Saints because this has a good storyline. I know this sounds hypothetically WWE storyline, but think about it. Derek Carr wants to prove to the Raiders that they made a mistake, right? What's his best way to get to the Super Bowl or get to Vegas? Going under his demons. But it's not going to happen. We're the Kryptonites. We're going to be the ones taking him to his prayers. But I would have a good storyline to it, actually, if it was like.
But But Derek Carr is you had the number one receiver last year in Devontae.
but no
How did
defense.
that turn out for you? You know what I'm saying? You didn't have the defense, but you also didn't give him the ball like you should have. Also, that's one guy. Well, he's one of a few in the league. Uh, Justin Jefferson. I feel like even now, Brandon Ayuk. There are three legits that you just can't guard in this league. That's just my personal opinion.
Oh yeah,
But
Jamar
those
Chase.
three right there, I feel like they're unguardable. Jamar, eh, depending on what time of game, what time of year it is, you know what I'm saying. But Jamar has his moments. He has his moments, so he could be up there if he wants to, if he really puts in that work.
The one that's hard to cover at times is Cooper Cup, man. That guy's not easy. Like he's a tough task.
Yeah, but now he's been getting hurt past couple of years, so we don't know how he's gonna turn out this year. We'll see.
Yeah, David Corona. I know you're from Corona, man. I guess that's why your name goes with the name. but in all seriously, bro, like I know it sounds optimistic, but as long as we make the playoffs, our ceiling is going to the conference championship. But I think it makes our chances bigger if it's in Levi's. So
Right.
that's what I feel like. But hey, let's talk about what's going to concern the Niners. We were talking offensive line. What other positions do you feel the Niners need to improve on before the regular season?
It's a couple of ways we can look at that.
I say
Who is the
cornerback.
backups? That's what I was about to say. Who's the backup spot? Who's gonna play nickel? Who's gonna start at nickel?
Gonna be a tough one.
So far, Oliver has kind of been slowly falling off. Yeah, Womack still think he needs a little bit more.
Every time a little bit in the mix.
Ambry Thomas, I don't know what Ambry Thomas. We really don't know what Ambry Thomas we're gonna get. I know in practice he's one way. He's a gamer at times. The first year he came in, we saw what he did against the Rams. He got the interception, got us into the playoffs, played pretty good in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He didn't cost us the game or anything like that. He played okay. I feel like he held his own. Last year, he fell off a cliff. Don't know what happened to him. Heard it was, some things away from the field that, some personal issues. Hopefully he got those issues and things together. We'll see what he does this year. Lenore, I feel like Lenore is legit. And I feel like he can take another step this year. Him and Mooney Ward. Mooney, now, this is the thing, though. And I'm just being real. Mooney Ward has to show his when we get in playoffs. Because it reversed once the season was over. Remember, Mooney Ward was having an awesome season. Couldn't throw to him. Then all of a sudden, what was it, Miami, I think? He did that blown coverage, got burnt deep. I think if it wasn't Miami, the Tyreek play, and he beat him on a go route. It was some miscommunication and stuff like that. So once we got in the playoffs, Lenore stepped up, got interceptions against exactly. You know what I'm saying? Didn't give up any touchdowns the whole nine. So while we're hoping that he steps up in the right time and he continues on doing what he's doing, we could have a nice cornerback, run. It's just about who is going to play that nickel position, and our team's going to expose us in that nickel package because we don't know who's going to start. That's the scary part right now.
That's the question mark right there because, we thought Oliver could be the guy, but it doesn't seem like it for right now. But Womack, I want to see what he could do in the slot right now. I've heard a lot of buzz about this kid, so maybe with him, or this may be a wild card, man. Deshaun Jameson, man. I want to see the kid play a little bit, even though he had a little moment of his return kick, but still, I want to see how this kid's made of.
It's possible, man. It's possible for sure. 12-5 record this season for
12-5. So that means we'll
12-5.
We'll either get number 2 seed or 3. Unfortunately,
12-5. I'm just being realistic because you got to think about last year. Think about this. I forgot what game it was, but after I think Mexico, most of the games we never even left the West Coast. This year we're going to be traveling. You know what I'm saying? So I think travel plays a big role this year. And if everybody can recover after, all the traveling that we're about to do, the swelling goes down in a lot of people and stuff like that. Hopefully it's not too many catastrophic type injuries that we have this year. So That's my biggest concern is just traveling wise, how people's bodies are going to hold up this year, and just be realistic. I
Yeah,
look at
it's
12 and
okay.
5.
I think that
Yeah.
still makes us win our division, anyways. Like I think Seattle would probably be like one win behind us, and we'll still get that division. I don't know about the Rams. It's an up and down team. They're young, so it's not like saying we're doubting them because of our rivals. I don't know what they could be right now because of what they got going on. So
Right.
it's a
Right.
question mark for me to even debate that. The Cardinals, it's no doubt. Let's see. Speaking of expectation, it really depends on Brock Purdy because that's our guy. Whether we want to accept it or not, this is our guy. But let's give an expectation of what you want Brock Purdy to do this season.
Play, execute the plays, regardless of what short passes. Do kind of what you did in this. Do what you did last season. Do what you did this last preseason game. Continue to prove me wrong. Shut my mouth. Because
Exactly.
I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. As a
He's
person,
average.
I do not believe in Brock Purdy. But, and let me make this clear, but he's shutting my mouth. I understand the guys that he has around him definitely make him look good. So I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that at all. I would like to see Trey get
Fair chance.
a try with the ones. I would love to see that, but we all know for whatever reason, Trey can do everything. He can't do anything right to get back in the good graces, because he just lost his job outright, and now people want to sit up here and say that he's got to compete for QB2, which I don't even see Sam Darnold being QB2 right now. But
Ooh.
hey,
Speaking of that topic, man, what is up with the Sam Darnold hype? I don't understand it, and I never will. I mean, he had his moments, but you know what? Like, my realistic expectation is, yeah, they're calling this guy Brock Star, but you know what I call Brock? I call him an average Brock, just like an average Joe, until he proves me wrong. That's just a
that's
nickname.
it.
He's an average
That's
Brock.
it.
Average Brock.
There's nothing wrong with how he's playing. It's just the mere fact of, is there another level? Is there a next level? I'm glad that you I'm glad that you have showed up, the diamond in the rough. Nobody saw this come. I really am proud of how he played. He For him to shut me out every week is like, damn, there go another win. Damn, there goes exactly, like, you're proving me. Continue to prove me wrong, but also I just don't want us. I'm not blaming this season on Brock Purdy. I blame this season on Kyle Shanahan. Like, Kyle, you made these decisions. You got to live with these decisions, because if this doesn't work, I feel like this is one of the most catastrophic things in our history, because you've sold the farm for Trey Lance in order to get this type, and it's for nothing. Because if Brock Purdy doesn't win this year, then what was it for? You rushed this man back, regardless if he was ready or not, and rust and whatever you want to call it. He was not the guy if he doesn't win it. That's just my personal opinion. Because can he make the plays? We'll see. Continue proving me wrong. You win the ring, you shut my mouth. I have nothing to say. Obviously, I can come on here. Hey, it's all swept under the rug. All is good, because now the Trey situation, it don't matter anymore. It doesn't matter at all, because we won the ring. But if you don't win,
it's still a question.
Now you got questions. Exactly.
And the weird part about it is we didn't even have a competition for this, man. They just gave him the job. I would have thought that would have at least gave Brock Purdy the opportunity to silence the doubters at this point, but it's still going to be. They just left a little question mark there, because now they're going to say, was it fair? Even though he was coming off an injury, he could have proved himself. Even in the preseason, he completed all but one pass, but still was able to move the ball. There was probably no doubt in my mind. Maybe he could have gave a run for Trey, but nope, they just wanted to give him the job. But I get it. They want to keep him fresh, and it's smart on their part. And there's no need to play him. Why not just see what Trey can do with the whole ones or whatever they got out there? And I'm optimistic.
Absolutely.
And for the love of God, just bench Dwelly and Warner. Please get these guys on the bench. We've seen enough. We've seen enough of you
Right.
guys. I want to see more
Yeah.
of Latu and Braden, just so we can get an
Yeah.
understanding.
See what we have.
Yeah, just to see what we got, bro. Because I'm convinced that he's good in practice. Like Braden, I see that he's good in practice, but he's not getting enough snaps. There's a difference.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
concerned. I'm concerned if they cut him, there's going to be a team taking him. So I would think if we cut Dwelly, we can get him. Yeah, Brock Purdy has been the guy. Yeah, he's been the guy because he's operating the system. He's been consistent, but the hype on him being the next Tom Brady, that's a slap in the face.
Yeah,
I have nothing to get.
let's relax. Let's
Yeah.
relax.
And Brock Star, okay, that's a corny nickname. I'm gonna call him Average Brock for the moment. Average Brock, because
He's still Brock Purdy.
he's still Brock
You're
Purdy.
not getting that. Right.
And don't get me wrong, I like the stories of these underdogs. They come out of nowhere and just do something. But he actually came from a really good college. Iowa State's not that bad of a football program. It's just the competition stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
We'll see.
John Jay, you haven't seen a lot of the hype of him being the next Tom Brady? Bro, like, okay, hey, Rod, can you explain to him how those hypes are out there?
It's been out there. It's been out there for a minute. I mean, they have graced this guy because of the supporting cast doesn't get all the
credit.
The credit exactly, because we all see most of these passes and things like that are thrown behind, their screens, something that's right at this line of scrimmage. And the guys, why do you think that they're called the Yak Bros? Like,
they
get the job done. Exactly. As long as you can complete a short pass, you can move mountains in this offense. But I feel like the reason why Trey doesn't get to start is because Trey looks beyond the short pass. And that can be it can be a gift and a curse to him. You know what I'm saying? Because while you're missing the easy one right there, you're also looking too far down on something that you want to mature or open up for you. And it's like, well, it never opened up, but you should have took that one that was right there for you. So I see both sides of it. Purdy is just doing exactly what Kyle wants him to do. Like you said, it's a system situation. He does exactly what I wanted to do at the opportune time. And then once he gets out of there, every once in a while, he'll roll left like he always continues to do, rolling left and completing passes. So we'll see.
We'll see. I feel like when we were playing the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys found a way to make Brock Purdy less effective by having him go to the right. So I don't know. Yep. Can Brock Purdy learn from that mistake? Because that's what Philadelphia did before he got injured, was trying to make him go that direction. So is the left side kind of his strength? Is that where the defense?
I think it's his strength. Yeah, I think it's definitely his strength.
That's very effective in his part of the offense, but if you put him in the right, it's an average performance, and it's not going to get you further. Has to be.
It used to be McGlinchey on the right side. Well, now we got who is it on the right side now? McKivitz. Cole McKivitz. So
you better hold up.
Exactly. If they're saying what they're saying about McKivitz and he can do it, I'm fine with Burford. I'm fine with Brendel. I'm fine with Banks. Obviously, Silverback trend, I'm definitely fine with. So I'm fine with 4 out of 5. It's just the last guy on that right end, that right tackle. What I don't want to happen is it comes back to bite us in the ass. That McGlinchey actually was a lot better than what's actually still out there. That I hope does not come back to bite us in the ass.
I would have hoped at least, I would have actually hoped that we would have got at least a offensive tackle dead. Why did we pass on DeJuan Jones? My God. Look what he's looking like in Cleveland, bro. He's actually looking like a stone wall. That's a big dude. You can't coach that. But then again, they brought in Matt Pryor, who's exactly the same but worse. I would think DeJuan would be a better upside to have, but
and you see how everything has been going since then. So who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Speaking of it, since you were saying, I guess your record is pretty much like you said, 12-5, which I realistically agree on it. I think there's some upside for us to do more better, but we just have to
absolutely.
Yeah, I think we have the ability to go 14-3. I know that sounds too high because I feel like as long as Brock Purdy is back to the same form and this offense moves and our defense can remain in the top 5, I don't see no reason why. But 12-5 does seem realistic the way you said it. So I'm not going to disagree on that part. And, I feel like there's a good chance I'm always confident. Under Shanahan, we do have a chance to get to the conference championship. So there's no doubt.
Absolutely. But my thing is, does Kyle get in the way of himself? That's the question that I feel like needs to be answered. Kyle, can you get out of the way? 2019, what were we doing in the Super Bowl? We was running it down. Exactly. We should have ran it against the Chiefs. We stopped running. They even said it themselves. Man, I'm glad that Matthews, he even said it. If they would have kept running, we had no way of stopping their. Yeah, we had no chance of stopping their run. But he ended up going to the throws and everything like that. So I don't know. As long as we can keep Kyle out of his own head and his own ass, we should be okay. But hey, only time can tell, because this is my last year with Kyle. Y'all gave 7 years to Alex Smith. You know what I'm saying? And you got him, up and out of here. You only give Trey really 5 starts, and he's basically almost up out of here. So why are we giving Kyle Shanahan so many passes? That's something that I just have an issue with. It's like, okay, enough is enough. If you just can't get over the hump, let's get somebody who can.
Oh yeah, that's the problem with Kyle, is his ego. Like, if we just stick with what's working, why stop what's not, like, why stop what's working if it's not broken? You know what I mean? So
trying to catch teams off guard and stuff like that. Just run what you've been running, man. It's a recipe for disaster that teams can't stop. So why stop it? You beat yourself,
broken. It's not broken too. And Debo was actually kind of hard to stop in those run plays too. So that would have been the recipe for us to win the Super Bowl that year. But speaking of a player who stood out to me, since John Jay threw this out here in the comments section, let's put it this way: Juwan Jennings' possible replacement, Ronnie Bell. I really like what I've seen from Ronnie Bell as far as the performance in the preseason. He kind of has that Debo-ish ability where he can catch the ball and actually make it into something. He kind of does give you a little bit of a Debo.
Right. I love what he's doing. And let's talk about it. He has hands kind of like Debo. Debo don't catch everything also. Like, a lot of people give passes to Debo. Debo's dropped some passes, and he's fumbled a couple himself. He did it in the first game last season against Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's dropped a couple of passes, key passes at certain times in games. Yes, he's made a lot of positive plays, but there have been some plays that you like, come on, man, you got to catch that. So there is a lot of resemblance, I feel like, when you see Ronnie Bell. It's a lot of Debo-esque in him. He's got a lot of dog in him. He's got a lot of fight. Like Debo said yesterday in the press conference, we had to get on Ronnie Bell about his blocking. And now that he's gotten even better about his blocking, he's got more targets and things like that. Now look at him. What is it? 9 catches, 141, I think, or something like that. So Ronnie can do a lot of things. Now, the thing with Juwan, he's an awesome blocker, awesome run blocker, awesome blocker after the catch, but he also knows how to get in defenders' heads. And that's something that I think that a lot of people don't really pay attention to, is when you can get an athlete off their game, it's a whole nother recipe that you can go even that much more further with. Ronnie Bell has a lot of gifts, but you also got to remember too that they talk about Juwan Jennings. He's third and Juwan. He knows how to get separation from defenders and stuff like that too. Absolutely. So, I mean, Juwan is. There are times that you want to get mad at Juwan, but it's gonna be tough to overpass Juwan. You gotta seriously bring it over him. So we'll see. We'll see about that.
I like Juwan based by his personality, the way he plays the game.
Absolutely.
It's like he's somebody on another team that we would hate to have. Play against.
Yep.
But we would love to have on our team. So he kind of seems like that.
Absolutely. He's that Dennis Rodman-esque, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does certain stuff.
I was gonna say Draymond Green a little bit, because he can get a little dirty, a little bit under the head, a little bit. But
there you go.
I wouldn't say like in that way, but everybody kind of takes it personal when Draymond Green does shit like that. So it's like, I would think he's like, he is like a Rodman almost, because Rodman was a little dirty, but Speaking of other players, so I had this little conversation with Braden's dad, and he kind of like agreed with the comparison of what I said about his son. So I said, your son has that he's like a 240-pound version of Juwan Jennings. Think of him as that dog. And then I guess he kind of reached back to me and said, you know what? Yeah, my son does play like that guy, but he's just a tight end. There's a difference. But he says there's that dog mentality. And I guess he's kind of like saying, you know what? I need to tell my son to go pick some pointers from Juwan Jennings, man, so he can know how to just knock somebody out.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like also you got to remember this too. Dog is just in you. You can't teach somebody how to be a dog. It's either you got it or you don't. Because I feel like if you didn't have it when you first came into this league and then all of a sudden you're a dog, I feel like it's a little bit, of a pretend game. Because once you get exposed, it goes out the window because then you're a pretender after that. If you got it in you, it's just there. It's nothing anybody can do. People can play certain things up or whatever the case may be, but a dog is a dog. So
somebody you can't coach, but you either have it or you don't. So it's like
you either have it or you don't.
But I feel like the more you pick pointers from how to get yourself into that next level. I mean, there were certain players that actually picked the knowledge from certain players, like
knowledge, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Where did George Kittle get his physicality from mostly and pick the knowledge from? He actually picked knowledge from Pierre Garçon and quite a few other guys.
Yep.
And he took it to the next level. Yep. So I would think for a guy like Braden Willis, by making the roster, he should pick some pointers off of Juwan Jennings just based by how he does it. Because, he has that same style of blocking, but maybe do it at a very effective level. He could trash talk, too, from what I was told.
Okay.
Yeah, he could trash talk.
So if he's about it, we'll see. You just got it, like you said, you got to get accustomed to the game. You're a rookie. You're trying to understand this game. You're trying to see it. Good luck. Who's a surprise guy that you're looking at that may get cut?
The surprise cut that may be a cut, man. Man, John Jay, stop with the Ohio State crap, man. I'm in Oklahoma to the day I die. But who's a possible cut that I might see as a possible cut to me? Let's see. The one player that might be a possible cut that it won't surprise me, but I think they're just cutting based by how they look at him on the field. So I think T.Y. McGill would probably be the one guy that I would want to keep on the roster, but they might cut him because of other guys. So that's a possible cut. Let's see. I got to say that there's a surprise cut. Maybe in the tight end group, they might make the surprise cut, but it wouldn't shock me if they kind of took the common sense to cut Dwell and the rest of those guys. I'm hoping they take my wish and cut Dwelly and Warner out, please. That would be my surprise cut. Get those guys out.
Do you think Ambry Thomas makes the team?
That would be a shocker because, one, he's kind of shown some signs, but if he makes a roster, that would be shocking. Because how many chances?
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, it would be a surprise if he makes it. It wouldn't shock me if he gets cut.
Right. We carry 4 running backs this season or 3?
Yeah, I think we carry 4, but it wouldn't surprise me if Ty Davis Price makes it as the 4th. It would not surprise me because they don't want to go through injuries.
Yeah, stepped up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he needs to do better as a pass blocking.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the biggest puzzle piece in mind that the question mark is, what's up with Elijah Mitchell? Every year he has been. You see the signs and then gets injured. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just really worried about what's going on, what's happening with him. Is he going to be able to hold up this season? He's there. We can go number 1 easily because he takes a lot of pressure off of McCaffrey, but it's all about him staying healthy.
Yeah, he's a good change of pace back for sure. Like you want to keep him fresh, but he just can't stay healthy. The guy's he's not a big running back, but he is physical when he runs. But like you said, a healthy Elijah Mitchell makes this offense roll a little bit, and it takes pressure off of McCaffrey. But I'm intrigued by J.P. Mason. I want to see more of J.P. Mason. I think I like the kid better. He could be an every down back if he had the opportunity. But Ty Davis Price, my issue with Ty Davis Price is pass blocking. I think if he wants to be on the field more, he has to do better as a pass blocker. As a runner, he
can't whip any pass.
I mean, he can run okay, but it's not like a wow run play. But if he gets his pass blocking on point, I don't see no issue with him making the roster. It wouldn't surprise me if he still makes a team. It would be a shocker if we decide to cut him.
Yeah.
I think Avery Thomas actually making a team would be more shocker than him getting cut at this point.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So let's see another one. Let's see. I know this is part of the topic we're part of trying to hope for this works out, but man, when is the contract going to be done with Nick Bosa? I know this is part of the topic that we're going to go on until the deal's done, but man, it's a little concern for me, a little bit, but I heard it's in the right direction. He's at New York, so maybe there's a deal coming in place.
We shall see. I think my thing is what are the things holding him back from getting this sign? Because we know it's not about him playing or whatever, but you still got to get around your guys. You still need to be around your teammates and get that chemistry going. Like you got to get reps in. You can't just walk. I don't know. Nick can be a totally different guy. He can walk straight off the sidewalk somewhere and then go in there and get us 18 sacks. So who's to say that he can't do it? We don't know. I just feel like every guy should get their reps, see how they are, see how it'll be for them, and then go from there. You're going against Trent. All you can do is iron sharpening iron. You know what I mean? And see what you got. Go push around McKivitz on the opposite side. Teach him some things that maybe he didn't see. He can get better at, because we all know that he's going to dominate him if he goes to the opposite side. So, just understanding and knowing like how much the defense is really getting with Bosa being there. And then on top of that, is Bosa going to be a captain this season? He was a captain last season.
I think he will be, unless isn't Fred Warner more of the captain?
Yeah, but I'm saying he had a C on his jersey last season also, but he was in training camp last season. So now with him not being in training camp this season and him not even being around there, it's like, will he be a captain this season? That's just something that I've thought about.
I think it's not a question. I think without him, this defense is nothing. So I think it's a no doubt.
True.
So, it could go to the newcomer like Hargrave because of the leadership quality, but I would say it's still Nick Bosa until otherwise. Maybe Armstead earns the right because he's the longest tenured. So kind of like how they did with Jimmy Ward.
Yeah.
So it would make that most sense. But I feel like, if this is true, that Bosa's at New York what the agent's at, then there's a sign that we're in the right direction. Maybe a deal will get done in a few days, like you said. So realistically, how do you feel about the NFC West? Do you feel like it's going to be a little bit of a challenging than last year? Because last year we had our way.
I think we'll have our way again this year. I don't think the Rams are going to be all that good. They'll be a little better than last year, but I don't think they're going to be all that, not contention-wise. I think the only contender is Seattle.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow, what's coach up there?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, thank you. Pete will get those guys going. He'll get those guys playing. But their quarterback just got paid. You know what I'm saying? So, and my biggest thing is after people get paid, I always watch the production of how they look after they get paid.
It might dip a little, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm just wondering, he has a lot of weapons around him this season. Seattle will be pretty tough. And then defensively, they're getting some guys back as well. So, and we always know Seattle's a hard place to play at. You know what I'm saying? That 12 is even to this day is still for real.
It's loud.
So, and absolutely. So I think we will win the game at home, but going up there to Seattle, I think that's going to be a tough one. Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough one. So that's something I have. I also have us losing to Baltimore. I think Christmas Day.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Look at what in the little sample size that we got to see against the Broncos. You saw how Russell Wilson got out of the pocket.
We can't.
Lamar is coming up there. Exactly. Lamar take something to the house. So
we got to work on those. Yeah. And I think missing a guy like I think missing a guy like Ebicom could be a big blow for our defense in a bit. Like I think some people may say, well, he wasn't quite a big name like everybody says, but when he was around those mobile quarterbacks, bro, they weren't running a lot of yards. He was right there.
I think Amenihu was somebody that we're gonna miss too. Those
Yeah,
arms, that reach, and everything like that. Granted, I know he got suspended, or whatever, but I think just him being in, a part of that rotation.
was a huge.
Rotational pieces are key. Exactly, rotational parts are key. So just because they may not be an actual starter, somewhere in there though, to give somebody a little rest and stuff like that, that
Those are guys you
helps
need.
a lot. Yeah, man.
Especially
So
DJ Jones, when we lost him a couple seasons ago, I thought he was a big loss in our defense because he was not only just a viable rotation guy, he could step in and start too.
yeah, yeah, man.
I'm just hoping that this is going to be the year, but we're not going to be like Cowboy fans. We'll just tone it down a little bit and
Yeah. You
let's
got to be
just look
real
at
about your expectations. Don't be obnoxious about your expectations this year. It's like,
yeah.
do I think we got a loaded team? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But I always have the question mark of all question marks. Kyle Shanahan. What are you going to do when it all boils down to if the game gets a little tight, it gets a little close? What kind of acquisitions and moves are you going to make? That's the biggest thing that I get nervous about.
I hope before the trade deadline we do something, man. Who needs those first or second round picks, man? They're for suckers.
Right.
I don't want to take investment for those early round picks anymore. I feel like we do good investment later round, so I think we can get something out of those other players. I'd rather get a proven commodity, but if he's on the trading block and all we gotta do is just give up this amount and he's on a rookie deal just for a couple seasons, I take it.
Absolutely.
I know what I'm getting.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah. For some teams, you don't draft well early rounds anyway, so what's the purpose? I'm hoping we think of that type of trades. If somebody's on the trading deadline, I'm hoping it's somebody who can make that splashy impact and just take.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe if the offensive line doesn't pan out, maybe they do make a move on the trade deadline to get somebody like that can help us and solidify that position. But we'll see, man. But
we'll see.
So Friday's game, we'll definitely see the final audition for those players. I'm just hoping we see something different. Maybe they finally give us what we want to see, but we'll see, man. What do you expect from the last game, like the last preseason game right here?
Starters play about 2 series, 3 series, maybe. I think let me stop saying that. I give them maybe the first quarter. Starters will play the first quarter. Then after that, you'll start seeing guys, really get out of there. Then after that, personally, in my opinion, I feel like after the starters leave, Trey should play the whole game. After that, just see what Trey can do. Really, that I feel like can answer a bunch of questions. Sam Darnold has been here for 55 games in this league.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been a number 3 pick. Exactly, like you already pretty much know what you have in Sam Darnold. Okay, will he be the number 3? Will we even want to keep this guy around? Or would you guys still want Brian Allen around or whatever his name is?
Brandon Allen.
Or Brandon Allen, whatever his name is. Yeah, if you want to keep him as the number 3, whatever, cool. And let Andy Dalton do kind of like what we did with Nate Sudfeld last year. You know what I'm saying? Right at the end, okay, you know what? We really don't need Sudfeld anymore. And remember, we gave Sudfeld guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with money. Exactly. It has nothing to do with money. I don't care when we actually signed him, if it was the first day, whatever. It doesn't matter. We know what we got in Sam Darnold. Okay, cool. Trey, go in there. Let's see what you got for the rest of this game. Maybe give Sam the fourth quarter, some crap. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But let's see what Trey can do. Give Trey a good sample size of this game and then go from there.
I want to definitely see that. Just to get a fair evaluation out of it. But hopefully we get to see more of those other guys. Kyle, I'm going to tell you a few players that need to stay on the bench so we can get some more reps of those other guys because it's going to be hard to judge these players. So Latu and Brady need to get more snaps over Dwelly and Warner. Warner and them just sit your ass on the bench. Put your street clothes on and just let these other guys get a chance. Maybe we get a different perspective instead.
We know what you are in this. We know what you are in this offense.
Time, sit your ass. Like I'm already at the point we need to settle for something better. So then you got a couple of other guys. I wouldn't want to risk it with Mitchell. I'll probably just try to rest him, even though it's kind of risky with him. I know with Christian McCaffrey rest him. Let's just go with Mason and just go with Ty Davis Price and go from there.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, and as far as our secondary, I guess the nickel spot's pretty much up for grabs. Let's see what Abry could do in this opportunity. Let's put him at the nickel, see if he is the guy. Isaiah Oliver, there's a chance for you to redeem yourself. So prove us, man. We'll see.
There you go. There you have it, man. I feel like Oliver, you came onto this, you got on this team. We'll see what you can do. On top of that, I heard that there are times that we might run a double nickel type of offense or defense as well. So who's to say? Who's to say what you're truly meant to be on this team for? But something has to give. Something definitely has to change within, because I feel like what Oliver has shown, I feel like he's definitely underperformed. I haven't been like, yo, I see why we went and got him. It's been like, why did we get him? Why did we go after him? I'm missing something. So, and Wilkes, he likes the guy. Obviously, he came from Charlotte with him. So, or he came from the Falcons or whatever. We'll see.
No, yeah, he came. No, he came from Atlanta, but Wilkes played against him as a DC, so he saw his kids. So
yeah.
Then we got Miles Hartsfield, who he brought over with, and Sam and McCaffrey are with him. So that's pretty much the only faces he's got. But as far as all that, man, we're just looking forward to the upcoming season. And definitely, bro, it was fun. Hey, man, maybe down the road we'll definitely catch up once again and tell everybody where they can find your social media platform before we end it on a very high note, my guy.
Yes. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, everybody, Mondays and Wednesdays, Sports Talk and Chill Show, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. We on here on YouTube as well. Come and, see the show with us. Gina, all my co-hosts, Jordan, Daniel, Dennis, Wise. That's my crew. That's my family. We got a show tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern time. Good show. Football, basketball, you name it. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna give you other thoughts and things to think about on that show. But also, hey, on X or Twitter, whatever you call it, Rod Cali 24/7. If y'all need some work out there, hey, I do graphic design as well. Stuff behind me, I did it myself. So holla at me.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, for sure. And thank you for your time. For everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, go Niners, and CG and Rod is out. Peace.